Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 83 of Cross Atlantic Gaming. I'm your host, Risky the Kid, and joining me this week, my co-host, Moose.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, yo. Our apologies to everybody. We can't seem to all get together this time of year, but, I mean, it's the holidays, right?
And we're 7 hours apart, so...
Yeah, that doesn't make things any easier. So Bears off this week, so it's just the two of us. It is a mailbag episode, so no guest host either. So, hey, another one of these shows. You're welcome. This will be a good one, I promise. Anyways.
Wow. You're making promises for me now?
Yeah, promises for both of us, because we're going to keep the show under 45 minutes, with it being a question mailbag thing. So...
There you go. It's going to be an express Christmas.
It's going to be the best thing ever. Without further ado, another week in gaming. What have we all been playing? Let's start with something that you and I have both dove into this week, and that is Hades. You picked this up on Steam. We're in a nice little family together, so I had a chance to try this out as well.
Yeah.
What do you or here? First, it's an isometric. I'm just gonna say this because everybody loves it when we say this kind of stuff, but it's an isometric roguelite. It's pretty beat 'em up. You're definitely hacking and slashing a whole bunch. It's made by Supergiant Studios. They're the people that did Bastion. What else did you? We just talked about this. Pyre, right?
Yeah, Pyre, exactly. They're quickly becoming one of my favorite indie developers, I think.
They're dope. And this new game, it's in early access right now. They're expecting a 1.0 release sometime in 2020. But for now, what we have, I think, is a great little game. The storyline, as far as that goes, you are the son of Hades. His name is Zagreus, and what you're trying to do here is you're trying to get out of hell and make it up to Mount Olympus to join the rest of the gods, like Poseidon, Zeus, all those people.
Right.
So
you got to get to Olympus to party, and you're grounded in your room. Is the way I took it, right?
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Every time you finish a run, you kind of end up back down at like the House of Hades. And you can have little conversations with your dad, and he's just like, "You're never getting out of here. What's the point? Go to your room." And then like the narrator, which by the way, the narrator in this game is great. Like all of them, all the voices in it are really good. And if you played Bastion, you kind of knew that was coming because that game I think does that phenomenally well.
Yeah, they just have a great arsenal of VO actors that I guess they're not letting anybody else use because every time they nail it with the voiceover work and the music.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like the best soundtrack that I can think of from these games so far is Pyre. I don't know if you've played much of that yet.
I haven't.
That's a lot of like stringy music, like kind of like southern rock kind of.
Okay.
And it's
some banjos in there.
Yeah, exactly. And it works really well with that game. I think the soundtrack's good as well. But yeah, each character, each god that you run into, you don't necessarily run into them. They drop these things called boons, which are power-ups essentially.
Buff, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and when you pick these up, you'll have a little dialogue with whatever god dropped it. So like Poseidon might drop you a power-up that makes it so that at the end of your dash, you do like a water area of effect thing or something. And before he gives it to you, he gives you a little piece of dialogue, and each one of them does it. I think it's all really well done.
Right, and it's all procedurally generated, so it's never the same run, and it's never the same god. So you have different bonuses and different powers every time you make a run.
Yeah, so like between the rooms are procedurally generated, and then also like the powers you get, because usually, not usually, I guess, but you'll have two ways you can go, like, and you might see the symbol of like Poseidon if you go right, and that means you're going to get something from Poseidon, or you might see something with like a heart over there that might give you some health
or poison,
so you kind of know what your reward is going to be once you get through the next encounter room or whatever, right?
I haven't gotten very far. I think my furthest run is like 10 rooms, so I think you've gotten quite a bit further than me. I made it to like the first boss fight once, but my health was so depleted by that point that like I think he hit me once or twice and back to the beginning.
Yeah, so I made it up to the second boss, which I didn't stand a chance. But also at this point, that first boss you run into, once you get going and start amassing more abilities that carry over,
Oh, right.
it's really easy to get up to her, and it's easier to handle her, because one thing that you can collect are these keys. And if you have enough keys, you can unlock weapons at the start. And this isn't like, because I was thinking it was going to be like Dead Cells, where if you unlock a weapon, it would just could potentially show up in a run for you. But this is...
No, you get it right from the beginning.
This is, hey, you have an arsenal. I think as of now, once you unlock everything, it's 4 different weapons. It's like a sword, a bow, a shield, and then my favorite one, it's like a spear, but it's a spear that you throw and then it comes back to you.
Oh, nice. I haven't unlocked that one yet. I just have the shield. It's the last one I got.
Yeah, so it's awesome because you can throw it out, it'll stick, and then when you pull it back, it'll also do damage again if it goes through the same person.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And then if you hold down your, it's not your special button because that's how you throw it. You're just like your normal attack button.
X,
that you can.
Right?
If you hold it, if you hold down X all the way, he'll like charge up and then do a big area of effect, like spinning attack where he smashes the ground. So like, it's really good for small minions if they're all around you, but it also has like single target damage, which is super high. It's definitely a lot of fun. I enjoy that weapon a lot.
Have you tried it with mouse and keyboard at all, or did you just go straight to controller?
I went straight to controller because it literally says like in the introduction, it's like, hey, we suggest you play this with the controller. The issue that I am running into because of using the high stick on my controller is a lot of times if I flick in a direction, the stick flicks back and makes him point the opposite way. So if I'm not actually holding it down in the direction I want to go, I'm just shooting the wrong direction. I'm getting used to it now.
Right.
But I think it's just because of the weight of the high stick that when I flick it, instead of like pushing it and holding it over there, it kind of, sometimes it jumps back and just goes slightly back the other way. And then my guy's facing the wrong direction. It's like, son of a...
Well, it's not difficult for you to switch out thumbsticks. They just literally twist off, as my kids show me every day.
And well, I'm gonna that's very funny.
Dude, like I'll literally see them walking around with one of my thumbsticks in their hands. I'm like, nope, that's definitely not yours.
That goes back in Daddy's special case with his expensive controller.
Yeah.
To be fair, I didn't even think that it was a high stick issue until like right at this moment. So
yeah, that makes sense. A little pendulum effect.
So I'll try to switch that out and see if it makes a difference. I didn't touch it with mouse and keyboard though, and I think that's...
No, I tried it the first round, and literally, because it's kind of at a 45-degree angle, like you said, isometric, and so you have to hold down W and D to walk forward, or you have to hold down 2 commands in order to move.
Yeah, it's probably not great. I'm sure if you start with mouse and keyboard, then it might be fine because you'll get used to it. But I don't know.
Yeah, or maybe hotkey things, because I don't know. Maybe if you could hotkey like E, Z, C, all the ones around it to walk in those directions, it might be better.
I don't know. I'll take the developer's word and just use my controller.
Right. Yeah, and this game actually, I saw it at E3 at one of the presentations, or I can't remember which one it was, but it intrigued me, and I was like, bummer, it's only for PC. And then ever since I started dabbling on the PC, I kept my eye on it, and finally went on sale for a little bit. It's like a $25 game right now, which early access, I know that seems like kind of a lot, but supposedly it's supposed to have a lot of new DLC and stuff coming out as well, so it's worth the money. But I think I picked it up for $19.99.
That's the best part of like this type of game is like, so really, since everything's procedurally generated, you throw out a few new rooms every month, maybe a few different enemy types, maybe some new bosses. It's like something you can easily easily implement
a new weapon,
just new things over time, which is great. All right, what else did I have to say about this? Because I did write some things down. So the currency, like I said, it's a roguelite, so there is progress that's being carried over from run to run, and what you're collecting are these...
like soul. It almost looks like souls, right? They're like little purple stones.
Okay, right. So I just call them crystals because I don't know what they're actually called.
Okay.
But so you can collect these crystals, and that's the thing where sometimes when you have these options, like I could go this way to go, and I know I'll get a Zeus boon, which will help me out with some type of electricity, or you can go left where it's just straight up these crystals. So like, hey, that'll be good for my next run. When your run ends, you kind of go back to Hades' house or whatever, and then on your way out, you can go to the mirror in your room, and that's where you level up your guy. The things you can level up, which are super useful, are things like being able to dash back to back. So like I unlocked that, which is a huge game changer because you can traverse so much faster to get out of the way of things.
Right, you can pretty much move across the whole room, right?
Yeah, exactly. And another one is you can get, I think, up to 3 health back per room that you clear, which doesn't sound like a ton,
key.
but if you're doing like a 20 to 40 room run, like that amounts very quickly.
And some of these, like even just mini bosses in the rooms, will take a half of a health bar with one strike. So.
If they hit you, yes. But some of those bosses are brutal. Like the first time, I don't know her full name, but her name's Meg. Funny enough, it's Meg something, and he actually calls her Meg. The first couple times I fought her, it was just brutal. Got beat down. But now, as you're kind of getting some of these powers and just learning the game, she's kind of a breeze at this point, especially with the double dash, like getting out of the way of a lot of her stuff that just goes across the whole entire room.
It's all about learning the attacks and, knowing what the counterattack to it. Just like any Souls or
Sekiro
game that, we seem to, any game we seem to be gravitated towards.
Precisely. And then lastly, I think touching on the story for me, I think it's an awesome premise for a roguelite, right? Like you're doing each run to get out of hell, but it also makes complete sense that you might die and you're obviously just going to respawn in hell. Like
exactly. You end up back where you started because that's where.
And then you have all the gods to pull from, and when you voice them, and you actually like Achilles, for example, is one person who actually is in
he's like an NPC in your house.
Yeah, he's there, so it kind of takes the sting out of getting killed every time because you're going to go back and he'll be like, oh man, you lost to Meg again, or you lost to, like, they'll do dialogue that's kind of dependent on how you died the last run, which is awesome. But then he'll just give you a little more story of maybe how he got there.
Right.
And there's a bunch of these characters that are around that you can talk to.
And you can like give them gifts and things as well as the currency you can carry over, like certain things that you get off enemies that you kill, and if you give them to some of the NPCs in your house, then they'll give you bonuses or buffs or things.
Yeah, or even just little pieces of dialogue. I found it's just, I don't know, the whole story is just, it's such a good idea. It's such a perfect game type for the story. Like it's just it works so well, and I think it plays incredibly well. It's super smooth. I might be in love. This game's...
Yeah, I figured you might like it. And so now we're a family.
Oh, it's so good.
Everybody's happy.
Definitely, I think... Did we decide it's PC only right now? I think.
Yes, it is. It's only in Steam.
Okay, I would assume 1.0, like the actual launch you're probably seeing. I should have looked it up.
Yeah, it's got to come.
Hopefully this is for everybody.
Right. It's got to come to the consoles.
But if you can get your hands on it, I definitely suggest giving it a shot. Do you have anything else you wanted to talk about on this one?
No. I need to play it some more.
Yes.
But my gaming time is so limited right now.
I know. So. How long has your family been over at this point? 8,000 years?
Yeah, they got here on the 13th, so 10 days.
Yeah, it's pretty much 10,000 years, I think.
And then they've actually been a lot of help too, because they babysit, and me and my wife were able to go to an Avalanche game, stay in Denver, and then go to the Bronco game the next day. With, my mom actually gave us the tickets to the Avs game and watched our kids. So without them being here, none of that would have happened. So,
And we're able to record the podcast on a Monday, which we don't normally can't do.
Exactly.
So maybe family's all right sometimes.
They're out shopping with Grandma right now.
The day this drops will be Christmas Eve. So if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Filthy animals.
And, I don't know if we want to talk about it, but we did do Secret Santa this year. So,
oh, good Lord, was it not everything it could have been?
Oh, boy. Thank you so much for trying hard, Bear, but it was a
bit of a blunder.
It was a fail.
We had a lot of region-locked codes go out to people that could no longer open those games.
So I think next year we might try to do something a little different. Maybe a white elephant game giveaway, something like that, or
keep it
who knows?
Country to country.
Yeah, keep it within the same side of the sea there. Because buying each other cross-Atlantic codes is turned out to be quite difficult.
To be fair, Bear laid out the rules, told the people what they had to do, who to go through to get the game.
Right. Yeah.
It's fine. It's the thought that counts. I got to see what game I would have had, and I was excited about it.
And
so that's something.
And you bought yourself a game. So.
And, oh, God. If you're interested in this story, hop into Discord, and we'll tell you all about it. Or just go into the Secret Santa channel on Discord, and you can just watch the whole thing play out right there.
Yeah, that'll probably be deleted shortly. So
sure. Now,
go
as
quickly.
soon as Bear hears this, he's like, oh, God.
Yeah.
Evidence.
Yep.
Kill it all.
Forgot about that.
But, yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah, Merry Christmas, everybody. Hopefully you all get the games. And it's actually Hanukkah time right now, too, so happy Hanukkah as well. But hopefully you get all the games and game time that you want this year.
That's all we could really ask for, right? It's just time.
I just need
I just want more time for Christmas.
Exactly.
I need the whole family to ship out for a couple weeks, and then you'll be good.
I almost had that option, but I chose to go. So,
so close.
Yeah.
All right. Next game. We talked about Hades. Hades is awesome. I'll talk quick about Sekiro because I wasn't around. I have two games I need to talk about quick. I'll start with Sekiro because I know you got a chance to play this, obviously, and talked about it a little bit last week. And all I can really do is echo exactly the things you said because this is by far the hardest game I've ever tried to play.
Yeah.
And I've never had something make me want to smash my head against my monitor more in my life.
So does that mean you're never shipping it back to me, or I'll be getting it shortly?
It might be in the microwave right now. Just
oh, sweet.
Getting ruined.
So I just got a copy of Control.
Exactly.
Got it.
You're welcome. At least you have a chance to beat that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, Sekiro, holy cow. I understand how a lot of people have this as their game of the year.
Right. It's beautiful.
It won Game of the Year at the Game of the Year Awards.
Which way did you go with the language? Because default is Japanese, but I went English.
I went English.
Okay.
As much as I would have liked it to be Japanese, so it's like what they intended and how they made the game. I'm not into reading.
That's a whole lot of reading.
I don't play games
exactly.
But yeah, I think the combat's awesome. What this game is really good at doing is giving you a challenge. And once you have bashed your head against the wall enough times, you finally you pick up enough steam and momentum and gain enough knowledge to finally take out this challenge, which is generally a giant man with a sword trying to murder you.
With multiple death blows that he has to have in order to kill him.
That's great. The first guy you run into has two of them. So I go and I kill him once, and then he's alive again. And I was like, oh, this isn't great. What I did learn...
And now you have no health or no pellets and
exactly.
nothing left.
And one thing that you might have mentioned is that playing stealth in this game is super advantageous.
Oh, yeah. It's key.
Because you can literally take out, for like normal people who you only have to do one death blow on, kill them in one shot. Done.
Right.
It becomes a stealth game, and I think it's really good at that. And
it also doesn't bring in other guys by making a bunch of noise.
Yeah, because that's the last thing you need is 4 dudes who take off a quarter of your health every hit, just standing around you trying to murder you. Not great.
Right. They're all just taking turns playing whack-a-mole, and you're the guy
precisely.
In the
So this first boss you run into, he needs 2 death blows, and for the longest time I had forgotten what you said about sneaking up on him and taking out 1 life. So I had to get through this dude twice. I have to somehow live through all of his baloney and kill him twice. Oh my God! There's no better feeling than when you finally get that second death blow, and he's just like, dead.
He goes away, and you collect all his money and whatever crap he has on him, and go down the hill to die from somebody else.
Exactly, and that's why I completely understand why people love this game so much. I just don't think I am built mentally
right
to be able to make it all the way through this game.
There's no story mode to play on. There's no difficulty to turn it down or up. It's just hard.
And that's the thing, is that mastering this game must feel like the most incredible accomplishment, because I just got this shot of euphoria from killing one boss that I had spent 13 tries on trying to kill him.
That's like I said, I'm probably only an hour into the game, but I've played it for 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, that is perfect. because I think I may have gotten to my first like big boss, and I've put like 5 or 6 hours into the game, and I've done nothing somehow.
Yeah. It's just one of those you just keep on the shelf, and you're like, all right, 30 minutes of punishment. Let's see what we can do.
And I don't even think that's the best way to play it, because you probably will have forgotten half the stuff you needed to, unless you're playing it daily for like a half hour. It's like, I will get through this game in 17
That
years.
may be the way to do it. It's just to play 30 to 45 minutes every day or every other day.
Yeah, I just know that.
Just take deep breaths and try to make a little bit of progress at a time.
That was the thing, like when I was started to get like pissed, which I don't generally do that often. Like that's when I was like, all right, I'm just going to start having negative feelings about this game because I suck at it. And like that's not fun for anyone. So take a deep breath, like you said, maybe take a day off, come back to it.
Yeah. That's why my NBA guy is almost to a 90 at this point.
Just
like I said, I think last week,
he's your breath of fresh air.
Yeah, I just go score 40 on somebody and I feel better.
NBA therapy sessions.
Exactly.
That's great. Yeah, Sekiro's dope though, and I think the traversal is also really cool with his little grappling hook, sneaking around.
Yeah, it's like it's not really a spoiler because it's at the beginning of the game, but like he gets his arm cut off, and this weirdo guy comes and just like without asking you anything, just attaches this like robot skeleton hand to you.
Hey, I saw you were sleeping there without an arm, so I stuck this one on it. I just had it laying around. Okay, great.
Right, and then you can get different mods for it throughout the game that'll help you, but I have yet to figure out how to use them
like
to
I've
my
got
advantage.
a sweet shuriken mod that does like no damage to bosses when I need to fight them.
Right. It just basically gets their attention.
It's like throwing
a
rock at a giant bully, like a pebble. It's just like, doop.
Yeah.
Nothing.
So, I don't know. We're probably doing it wrong.
Oh, we're 100% doing it wrong. And we're just not good, I guess. But speaking of weirdos that you run into in this game, probably my favorite thing so far is the dude that is just like your test dummy. He's just like, I can't die, so if you want to chop my head off or just practice some moves on me, I will die and come back to
your
life.
way with me.
So it's ridiculous. And there's also one in Hades. I don't know if you ran into it yet.
Yeah, the guy
the skeleton in your room.
Yeah,
he's just like, I'm just here for you to kill me. It's like, all right, great. Sekiro, why are you so hard?
I think that's why Sekiro has that. Just so when you get angry, you can just go beat up that guy and feel better.
It's not to learn anything. It's literally just to take out some aggression and stress. Just kill him.
Just button mash for a few minutes.
You want to talk about some Sea of Thieves?
Sure.
What are you getting into in the Sea of Thieves?
Well, you, myself, and Jesse jumped in last week and checked out the holiday event. Do you remember what it was called?
No.
Okay.
Not the Dawning.
No, that's the other one that we can talk about in a little bit. But it's a holiday event, and you've got to go see
Stitcher Jim.
There he is. Stitcher Jim.
I feel like we gave him so many names that night because we couldn't figure out what his name was. Creeper Jim, Skinny Jim.
Right.
No, Stitcher Jim. There we are.
So basically, you've got to go collect packages for Stitcher Jim and deliver them all to the big Christmas tree in the middle of the map, which is at one of the outposts, isn't it?
I think it might have actually just one of the random islands. It's the one that has a big center mast that's buried. If you play a lot of Sea of Thieves, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you don't, then it doesn't matter anyways.
Right. Because the center mast has become a Christmas tree.
Yes, it's awesome.
And that's where you deliver your presents to. So there's 3 different quest types, I believe, but they all essentially revolve around collecting presents and turning them in at the Christmas tree.
Just like every other event in Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, it's so basically they just recycle gold hoarders and you do it for Christmas presents.
To be fair, I can't think of another thing that I could do as far as quest lines go. A lot of it, you're either killing things, digging stuff up, or you're transporting things. What else do you do as a pirate?
Right. And I think every Christmas present is worth doubloons, and it just happened they have an advent calendar going on right now in Sea of Thieves, and it just happened to be that night we jumped on. It was double doubloon day.
Double doubloons,
So
baby!
I think we made like 150
Dude.
doubloons in like an hour or two.
It was so good. One thing we
So-
got to check out, which I hadn't played since it was a thing, but they introduced the fireballs, like essentially a
Right.
fire grenade that you can throw.
Hand
What?
grenades, yeah, Molotovs. And we didn't really do anything but throw them at
like
each other.
I threw
so.
one at the ship at some point to see how that happened. Then you kind of just chase
Right.
each other around at the end of the night. It's
Yep.
like, well, I have 5 of these, so guess I'm gonna throw them at my friends.
Yeah, the fire mechanic in that, like watching the ship catch on fire.
It looks
and
so
go up in
good
flames
think
was
about
really cool.
how much time they spent on making the water look incredible. Like they
Right.
did the same thing with the fire, not as incredible, but.
Mm-hmm.
And another cool thing, since like
And the
fire
smoke
is
of
just
the
a
fire
thing in
and
the game
everything,
now,
yeah.
is that when you're fighting, like we did a skeleton for it, and when you're fighting skeletons, if you hit a barrel and explode it, the people that are on the outskirts of the explosion that don't die, they actually catch on fire. So then there's these
Right.
flaming skeletons charging at you, and it's so good, dude.
And I
It's so
think you
fun.
can take burn damage as well as
Yeah,
whatever
they'll
their
catch
attack
you on
is,
fire,
right?
and then if you don't go and hop in the ocean quick enough, you're gonna burn to death.
Right. So it's a good time to hop into Sea of Thieves. Check out their website for their advent calendar and see what bonuses are available every day. And
Definitely, even if you're just hopping in to grab whatever they might be selling, or
right. Because
like
I think they give away a cosmetic every day, as well as they have some sort of event going on.
like the double the balloons. Woo woo! You guys
Yeah.
already missed the best day, so sorry. Rip.
Well, I think it may be coming back around.
If it is, we need
But
to
like I
hop back
said-
in for that.
Check the calendar. Maybe I'll post it in Discord so that everybody knows.
Good idea.
Alrighty.
Um.
Now your favorite game. Let's talk about
Oh God, we could talk about Destiny 2 forever, couldn't we?
it. Might be turning into a Destiny 2 podcast if you had your choice.
Sit down and listen to me. Yeah, the Destiny 2 has their dawning event. That's their Christmas event that's going on right now.
Mhm.
I want to call her Tess Everest, but that's not her name. Who's the Christmas baking lady? There's no way you remember her name.
No
Eva,
way, dude. I
Eva
don't-
Levante. That's her name.
There you go. All I know is it's about cakes and pies. Cakes and pies.
Yeah, so they have a fun little thing going on right now. Obviously, the new season has started, so we're all the people that are playing are all grinding that pretty hard.
I'm trying, dude. I'm like level 4 right now. I feel so terrible.
Hey, you'll get there. There's
Like I literally planned on coming home last night and putting a good 2 or 3 hours in, and I sat down in my chair and woke up at 1:30 in the morning, just like what?
we sat there waiting.
happened?
We had like 5 people all in a party, and we're like, yeah, I think Moose
I
will be here.
know.
Yeah, he'll be here, guys. Moose is always
Yep.
good to play games, unless
Yeah.
he's passed out on a recliner somewhere.
Yeah, I only slept for 3 hours the night previously. So,
Well deserved.
eh.
Yeah, so the dawning's happening, and their thing that they're doing is you make baked goods, essentially, and you have to dole them out to all the people in the universe.
Like every one of them.
Yeah, the things you're collecting, like if you kill some Cabal, you get some Cabal oil, and if you kill some Vex, you get some
Right.
Vex milk. So you're essentially just getting. This sounds so dumb, but you're collecting all these ingredients, and then you're baking them in this little oven, and then it makes specific like cookies or treats that are only good for certain characters. So maybe Shax might like the explosive cookies or something, and you have to go deliver them to him, and then you get.
Right. The best way is just look up a guide, because if not, you're just
100%.
wasting. You're just wasting materials.
Yes, there's whole ingredient maps that you can look at. The best thing if you're just trying to grind through this season though is the cooking lady. Her bounties are double XP, so you can pick up 5 daily. You can pick up the extra ones, and there's also weeklies. Pick all that stuff up and just
Wow.
shoot up through that rank. I'm already at like 38 or 39 on the stupid season pass. We still have 80 days to go.
You need children.
I need well, yeah, I guess that would solve some of this.
No, it's just me being envious. I like when I actually have time to game, I'm just like, oh, I'm so
Well, I
tired.
also
I'm just gonna sit down for 5 minutes.
we lead such different lives.
Right.
Yeah, I also have. So I bought a new laptop back on Black Friday that handles Destiny really well. So I bring that to work with me, and then like on lunch, I've got an hour that I can just grind out whatever. Just it's so easy to just hop in, do a few bounties or whatever. And just, I don't know. All the little things help in that game. There's so much to be doing, and everything you're doing is working towards either the season pass or a new exotic weapon or whatever. Destiny's in a really good place, and I think that's why I'm so hooked on it. And I definitely implore anyone that's ever thought about it to get back into it. It's free as well.
And they're doing a content update sale right now that you can get it on any platform for like $33 if you missed any of it. So that goes for Forsaken up to currently, I think, right?
Yeah, and just like the amount of we're in Shadowkeep right now, which was a decent update DLC thing.
Right. Forsaken's
like twice the size. So there's an endless amount of stuff you can be doing in that game right now. And if you're into Destiny, hit me up wherever. We've got a little clan with a bunch of people in it. So do that for sure. Yeah, Destiny 2 is great.
Yep, we'll talk about it more next week, I'm sure.
I'll try my best not to make you guys suffer through this game.
Hey, dude, I'm the one that I put it on the list.
I was not going to talk about Destiny, and then I saw you put it there, and I was like, good for you. If
there's something new going on, I figured we'd mention it.
I love holiday drops or holiday content updates in all games.
Events.
They're usually all just, if nothing else, they're just fun. And then sometimes you get really good stuff, which is great.
Right.
All right, before we go into the news, I wasn't here last week, obviously, and you guys did Game Pass Roulette, and that game was Rage 2. You guys talked about it. It sounded like you guys weren't.
It was not great.
It sounds like you guys weren't the biggest fans of it.
No, how about you?
I'm here to play devil's advocate a little bit.
Uh-oh.
A little bit. Okay, it's not the best game in the world. I realize that. I also don't think it's a hot pile of garbage. And I'm surprised that you actually didn't like it more, because I was getting some real Doom vibes as far as how fast paced it is and how you pick up heals from things you kill.
It just wasn't smooth though. Everything was clunky. It felt like the movement.
That was another thing you said. I don't know. Where were you playing it? On Xbox?
On my Xbox, yeah.
I played it on PC, but I don't think it would have made that, unless it's maybe locked at 30 frames on Rage.
Just turning to the targets felt like it was super slow. I don't know. It didn't feel good to me. That's how I feel with Wolfenstein too. Something between Wolfenstein and Doom they did differently. And
okay.
For some reason, Doom is awesome, and there's something about Wolfenstein that I just can't get around.
Yeah, and I think a big part of, if you can't get into the story, the hook of that, I think that's a huge pulling force to get you through that game and the Wolfenstein games.
Yeah, actually, yeah, all the cutscenes in that,
dude,
they're horrendous, actually.
Yeah, they are. It's in the second game. There's a pregnant lady covered in blood, just blowing people away, and it is just. It's the most ridiculously incredible.
And yeah, that's what I think will keep me playing through the Wolfenstein games. But Rage, I didn't care about anybody in this story.
Yeah, I don't think I didn't run into any characters. Granted, I didn't get super far into this game, but I didn't really care that much about anyone. If anyone died, or if people had names, I didn't really know what they were. Very early, you run into this dude who's like, oh, it's a ranger. The rangers are here. And he goes and tries to fight this giant monster, and then it just picks him up and bites his head off. And you're like, oh, well.
Right. Eats him, and he's gone. Yeah. It's all way over the top, And, I wish that they could have kept the IP of Mad Max, because it probably could have been a really good game.
That's what I wrote down. I said it feels a lot like Doom mixed in with some Far Cry as far as the open world stuff.
Right.
And then the whole thing is just covered in Mad Max.
Yeah. Because that's what it's supposed to be.
Exactly. And them not being able to lock down that IP is just kind of well, here's another thing that's set in the desert.
Let's dig out Rage from
what IP do we have?
Because everybody loved that game, right? Because I remember they came out with Rage 2. I was like, Rage 2?
Where was the
when
initial
was Rage
1? So another thing that I think works in my favor, or me liking it, I really wish I could figure out what you don't like about the shooting, because I actually thought it was really good. So I wonder if that's just a settings thing or a platforms thing.
Right.
Either way.
I wonder if I had it on PC, it'd probably been a lot more responsive. Because, even when we switch back and forth on controller on Destiny and PC, it always feels like you turn so much slower. So
Yeah.
it could be just a locked frames thing too on Xbox.
Just knock up the sensitivity a little bit, and then you'll just never be able to
Turn
hit anything.
To 9. Right. Just spray the walls like bear.
Yep. But yeah, I really have enjoyed every Far Cry game that's come out the last few years. I know a lot of people are fatigued on that formula as far as like, hey, here's a bunch of things on the map, go and check them off, because that's definitely what this game is. Like, I go to an outpost, and then it's like, well, there's one chest here, there's 2 upgrades, and maybe a boss you have to kill, and you actually see them getting like ticked off, and it's that weird like OCD thing that keeps me locked into one fort for X amount of time. Like, I love that stuff.
It's just like they're like, all right, what was successful in games in the last 5 years? Open world, check the boxes. It's like, okay, let's just throw all that into this game and put some neon colors into it.
I was saying, what's the best color palette?
Right.
Bright and loud. Done.
'Cause
bright pink everywhere.
Far Cry, I haven't played whatever the new Far Cry is. Yeah, but that's what I hear is they just kind of put some neon paint on Far Cry 5, and there you go.
So, yeah, I don't think it's anything groundbreaking by any means, and I think most people would agree. But yeah, I thought the shooting was good. I thought some of the powers you get, like the dash dodge, is cool to like get out of the way of stuff, or maybe traverse. Like if you have to jump along platform, you can jump up in the air and then do like a dash forward to maybe cover some area that you normally couldn't jump across. I think the second thing I unlocked was like a force push, or it was called Shatter or something, where you could like hit shielded enemies really hard, and it would knock them down, so they'd be
like
open to attack. Yeah, like stun them.
Right.
I didn't get to it yet, but I'm pretty sure there's a double jump in there that you get eventually, which I'm assuming is a huge game changer.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think it's terrible. I don't think it's good. I don't think it's bad. I think it lands somewhere right in the middle for me. Like, hard to recommend at any price that's like over $20, but it's in Game Pass.
It's not Game Pass, right?
So
I wouldn't play it if it wasn't in Game Pass.
I think that's a fair assessment. I think because it is in Game Pass, I give it a hit because you're not paying anything for it. I'm sure you guys gave it misses, but any game that has enemies that are hitting grenades with baseball bats towards me, like I can get behind that. That's exciting stuff.
But Borderlands, like Scottman said, last week, it makes me want to play Borderlands. And
if you're going to play a wild, zany open world game in the desert,
exactly,
might as well play Borderlands.
There's already somebody in that lane, and they do it very well.
Yeah, it's definitely some mediocre parts taken, or the best parts of other games implemented mediocrely in this game, I guess.
Yeah, that sometimes the sum of what is it they say? The sum of the parts is not the whole.
It's definitely something like that. I mean? Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, Rage 2, it's a hit for me because it's in Game Pass. I probably wouldn't have been happy if I was a day one adopter and spent $60 on it, because you played this game before. It's just maybe it has some extra color thrown in it and a few more movement traversal tools.
Well, I like your optimism.
Hey, it's what I bring to this show.
Mr. Brightside.
Mr. Brightside. That's what they called me in high school.
That's not a good thing.
Yeah, probably not. All right, let's get into some news. All right, Moose.
Yes, sir.
What is going on in the news this week?
So, Sony's got a back paddle attachment to their DualShock 4 controller. Have you heard about it?
Finally keeping up with the times.
Well, kinda. So they announced via their blog that a new plug-and-play back pedal adapters works with the current PS4 DualShock 4 controller. The features include 2 programmable back buttons and a high-fidelity OLED screen, and you can remap up to 16 different functions from the controller to these back buttons and save up to 3 different profiles. It'll be available on the 23rd of January for $30 US. Not sure about UK.
Yeah, so I mean, essentially it's just something that you stick on the back of the controller, and now you have back paddles.
Yeah, it literally plugs into your headphone jack.
Perfect. What a great way to do
So
that.
yeah,
What are
and
the
it's got a little like or I guess OLED screen that's on the front of the controller that shows you, I guess, what it's programmed to at the current time or what setting you have it on.
for like why though? What? I don't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hopefully it's not lit up all the time. That'll get real annoying. I better have to tap that thing to
But
make it wake up.
yeah, right. And I'm sure going through the 3.5 millimeter jack is going to be super good for latency and things like that, right?
Yeah, don't think there's anything good about this. One thing that when we brought this story up in Discord, Rocker mentioned, he said, "What are the chances that this isn't compatible with the DualShock 5 when it comes out next year?"
That'd be so
Like,
terrible.
oh,
The whole bottom of the controller is just completely different with different
it would just be
plugins
the
and stuff.
worst, most crappiest move for their customers and consumers. Like, yeah, hey, you guys finally have an option for this without having to go through and buy like a $200 scuff controller or something, but you don't get to use it next generation. Sorry. I think it's cool, and it's not super expensive, but it's
Right.
kind of like, meh.
I think, back buttons are almost like a pay to win type deal. They give you such an advantage.
I love, especially in games like Destiny, where I'm jumping up in
Right.
the air and shooting all the time.
And you can spin and jump at the same time and reload or
Right,
slide
and not
or
is a pay to win mechanic, but I was using the A on my back paddle in Hades to dash a lot.
yeah.
And, like that was super useful, being able to still aim where I needed to aim and
Right.
be able to dash. Like, it's good for you PlayStation people. I hope it's actually a good product, but we'll see.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. It looks kind of cheap to me.
What does it just kind of looks like a adapter that like Hori or somebody would have made, like kind of like a cheap like thing that you throw on Amazon.
I've been burned by them before.
Haven't we all? That
Maybe.
Xbox controller for the PlayStation or whatever it was.
The thing is such
What a
junk.
piece of garbage. It made me like the DualShock 4.
The triggers don't even work.
Yikes.
So, oh well, let's go to the next thing. Have you been to Redbox lately?
I try my best to utilize Redbox as often as I can.
Well, it's gonna come to an end, my friend. Redbox is having an everything must go sale. They're moving away from their game rentals and are currently having a fire sale on all their titles that they currently own. The company recently tweeted out, after evaluating changes in the industry, they were going to focus solely on physical movies. Their loss is now ours to gain. Check your Redbox. Check out actually redbox.com for the boxes in your local area to see what's left.
Yeah, I think that this is
You're gonna have to get GameFly, huh?
this is horrible, horrible news.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I've used Redbox on countless times, like where I end up spending
Right.
like $6 or $7 to get through a whole game that would have taken me or would have cost me like 60
yeah.
bucks. Redbox has saved me a ton of money over my gaming career, so that kind of sucks. But like you said, their loss is our gain. So get out there and buy some. There's so many games that you've probably missed this year that like
Games that came out a couple weeks ago.
or that like there's if I have to have physical media for a quarter of the price that I would normally pay for it, whatever, I'll get up
Right.
to put in a new disc. That's fine.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if you're at your grocery store, gas station, McDonald's, whatever,
Give
just
it a look.
pop onto the Redbox real quick and just see what they got for $5, because you might be surprised.
Rest in peace, Redbox.
Sorry, Risky.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
That's all right. We're a family now, so we just buy everything on Steam.
Woo! Master Race.
So Typhoon Studios is acquired by Stadia. This is kind of like another one of those supergroup companies with heads from other studios that all join together. They're creating a game called Journey to the Savage Planet, and now they're part of the Stadia stables, I guess is a good way to say it. They'll continue working on their title for multiple platforms and will also work on their integration with Stadia at the same time. So I think Stadia does this more for a future type deal, and just kind of get some
Yeah, because this was obviously an acquisition that happened after they had already
right.
put out trailers for like
Right.
their game coming to PlayStation and Xbox and all
They
that.
see PlayStation and Xbox collecting all these devs, and they're like, well, I guess we need to start somewhere. So Typhoon's there first, I believe.
Yeah, so it's called Journey to the Savage Planet. It looks to me pretty identical to No Man's Sky.
Right, and space truckers.
Yeah,
again,
I think
right?
a lot of the stuff they showed in the trailer was just this dude hopping around what looked like a procedurally, jeez, what a word,
Got it that time.
generated world, kind of like No Man's Sky, with a bunch of weird creatures and fauna and flora, all that kind of stuff. That sure looks interesting. I think it's a good look for Stadia. I guess it kind of gives you a little bit of hope that they might not just be folding after their
Moving
initial.
forward. Yeah, they can't be buying companies if they plan on just shutting the doors.
Or they can because it's Google. So
Yeah.
who knows?
They just got money.
That was probably the backup plan for Typhoon Studios. There was like, yeah, sure, you can buy us, but if this doesn't work out, we're still gonna put out our game on these other platforms because who knows if you'll be around by the time this game actually comes out. We'll see.
So yeah, good luck, Stadia. It's quite the uphill battle you guys have, but if anybody's got the money to do it, it's Google. So, next thing up, Puma gaming socks.
No, thank you.
No jokes. This is a thing. Just last week, they released what they have dubbed as active gaming footwear to the public in Australia.
The irony.
In UK for a whopping $105. So these quote unquote socks are made for indoor or arena use only. And they boast seamless comfort, support, and grip so gamers can adapt in different gaming modes. Like literally they have different settings on them.
This is an Onion article, right? Did you accidentally pick this up
No,
from the Onion?
it's really not. This was no, this was IGN, sir. So, for all you people that really have nothing better to spend money on, chocolate, go buy yourself some gaming socks.
I don't like these socks are made for arena use. Like, what in the world does that mean?
They look like race driver shoes, but with no laces or actual leather or anything on them.
Yikes! This is yeah. Do yourself a favor, pause the podcast, or if you're listening to it, just bring up your phone and Google gaming socks. It's not a joke, people. They're here and they are over $100 a pair.
And this is not this may just be the first of a trend because supposedly in a couple of months, Ninja's supposed to unveil some $150 pair of Adidas that he has a endorsement with.
Socks?
I don't know if they're socks, but they're
God,
still
I hope they're shoes at least.
going to be dubbed gamer shoes. So whatever that means.
Who wears shoes when they're gaming?
I don't know.
I want gaming slippers. Give me a nice pair of gaming slippers. Maybe I'll think about it.
Yeah, Xbox has it right where they just give you giant pajamas.
Yeah, just give me a giant onesie. That's really all I'm interested in.
With pockets for TV remotes and controllers. And
at this point of my life, a gaming onesie makes the most sense out of all of these. So let's do it.
Yeah, so that's a thing.
Yikes.
Just look forward to the line of gaming socks coming out probably next year.
Was it a light news
Yeah,
week?
dude.
Is that what's
There's
happening
nothing
here?
going on. Here's another hot off the press news story. Apple Arcade introduces an annual sub. So for
You gotta be kidding me.
yeah. So for $50 a year, you can get unlimited access to Apple Arcade. So it'll save you $10 a year because it's $5 a month. So if you're really into those Apple Arcade games and foresee yourself playing them for a whole year, you can save $10.
Hey, I think there's a decent amount of quality there. I'd also
Right, yeah, it's definitely you get your money's worth.
even though it saves me $10 a year, I would
it.
still love the ability to shut it off for a couple months when I don't see anything I like.
Right.
So we'll see.
Exactly, unless you have like something like you've got to play like Stardew or something like that you're maintaining
exactly.
all the time. Then, so
Cool.
yeah, it's a thing. Imagine that. So have you seen the trailer for Prologue from PlayerUnknown?
I have not. I'm excited for PUBG too, though.
Well, in a Forbes article, he confirmed that it's not going to be PUBG 2 or even a shooter.
Wait, what?
So, yeah, Brendan Green, better known as PlayerUnknown, has confirmed that his next game is not going to be a shooter. Last week, he dropped a 30-second teaser trailer that shows a dark and stormy forest. You can hear some dogs barking off in the distance, and you were just kind of looking around feverishly, kind of in a panic. So it may be a survival horror type game, but I think he's got a whole slew of different types of games that he might want to bring out here in this new company that they've developed.
That's I mean, it's interesting. I don't know what I would get out of a PUBG 2, really.
Right.
I feel like PUBG can just be like a standalone platform that they just keep innovating on. Like if you're looking
game as a service type deal,
and it's like if you're looking to make it look better, just like make your next map be the best looking map or something. Like I don't know. I feel like there's ways where they don't have to have a PUBG 2, just like how there will never be a Fortnite 2. It's kind of I don't know.
Well, they kind of just did a Fortnite 2, didn't they?
Chapter 2, I guess. Yeah, okay.
They took it off the internet for 3 days.
Does that count? Like you were never waiting for the next one. It's kind of just like, hey, this is the next DLC. Well,
I wasn't, but I know there were all sorts of angry moms in the chat blogs saying, "My kid lost thousands of dollars of skins. This is unacceptable."
Oh, lady, you need to sit
Calm down, Becky.
Exactly. No, I think this is cool though. I can honestly say I would be more excited for whatever this is going to be rather than a PUBG 2.
Right.
So.
Yeah, and it's nice to be able to, expand on your game making abilities and kind of get out of the box and do something that you haven't done before and challenge yourself.
Yeah. So no, I'm
all those cliches.
Exactly. Looking forward to it for sure.
No more news.
No more news. Hey, we did it. There are, if you want to call them games, there is some new stuff coming out next week.
Tell me.
And I'm just going to rattle through them quick. If any of these sound interesting, you let me know. Demons with Shotguns. We already have a good game called
Doom.
Hades about the devil and stuff. So pass.
Right.
Xenoraptor. Nope.
Anything of Xeno, I'm going to pass just because of Xenoblade 2. So.
Got him.
That one's at you, Cobbs.
We also have Tamashi, the Natsuki Chronicles, Princess Maker, Stramium Immortality. I feel like I should say Immortality, but no, it's definitely just Immortality.
Okay. Immortally.
Weird. And also the Clocker. I will say the Clocker has the most interesting art. That looks like it's only coming out on Xbox on the 27th. So apparently game devs do not believe in Christmas or releasing good games for you for Christmas. Spend some time with your family. I guess that's what they're saying.
They don't get Christmas off. They're like, nope, 2 days till launch. I need you in the office.
Yeah. So, I mean, everything that was going to come out this year and be good has probably already come out. So I would stick to your backlog, folks.
Yeah. Everything's on sale.
Yes, exactly. Go.
So there's got to be good games. Don't buy junk.
Precisely. All right. Great. We got through the news, got through the new games. That means we have one thing left. Do you know what it is?
Yep. It's when we get to interact with our community.
Mailbag.
You've got mail.
All right. First question for the mailbag comes in from Kaboski. Is there a single-player game that you've been wanting to replay again? That is simple and straightforward, and I will say I do have an answer.
I'd like to know if Cobbs has an answer, but he didn't answer
That's
it
true.
in
He
the
did
question.
not answer.
So, I'd like to say Witcher 3, but I'm still playing through it for the first time, for the third time. So,
yeah, right? Does that count as replaying when I'm on my 17th turn of replaying? Didn't you mention, because the Witcher TV series obviously came out or for Netflix or whatever, and you said it's like one of the top played games on Steam right now. So
yeah, it's like competing with Red Dead Online as far as the top concurrent game players. So that's
Guess we should hop on it, huh?
Yeah, and actually, Steam's having a sale right now. So if anybody's playing PC games, you can literally get Witcher and Witcher 2 for like $5.
It's the amount of times that game has been on sale for nothing.
Yeah, and Witcher 3 is I think like 10 or 15.
Yeah.
So you can get the whole collection for under $20.
The first game that came to mind for me was BioShock. And that is solely because I remember, like, the thoughts I have of that game were that it's in, like, one of my top 5 games of all time, but I literally played it through once, and that was it, and it was right when it came out, so I have no idea. And I know you went back to play it like a year ago or so, right? Or something. And I remember you not having great things to say about it. And I was like, no, how can that be? This is like one of my favorite games of all time. And I'm like nervous to go back to it.
No, it's just me. It's just not my type of game. Like Outer Worlds was fine, but it's not my type of game.
All right.
You know what I mean? So I maybe I just don't like the first person RPG type games.
I think that is probably the one game that I've always thought about going back to. And it's not even a super long game. It's tough for me to play a game a second time. Like, it's tough enough for me to get through a game a first time. Right. So doing it for a second time.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be controversial probably this year for the first time, and maybe put some games in my game of the year list that I didn't finish. So.
Hey, I think that's fine. I think you'll see it more than once.
Well, it's gonna have to be,
exactly.
Right? Because that's what time has afforded me this year. So
I was getting ready for game of the year. I was just looking over what stuff's come out, what I've finished, and it was kind of like,
right,
this is gonna be tougher than I thought, and not because there's 100 amazing games vying for positions.
No, yeah, that's what it's not a down year in games, but it feels like it is just because of last year.
We got spoiled these last few years, so it's
big time.
It'll still be great. And I should have mentioned at the top of the show, but we are having our Game of the Year episode next episode, so tune in for that. Should be a good time.
I'll be recording from Arizona, which is another time zone away from Bear.
Maybe we're just gonna have everyone send in their own audio, and I'll mix it all together.
Oh wow, your editing skills are good, huh?
Oh, you have no idea. Years of practice at this point. All right, next question comes in from Mere Designations. He says, in honor of Star Wars coming out, what color and style, anything goes, of lightsaber would you have? Oh, interesting. You have a quick answer?
Green.
Okay, boring. Why green?
Sorry. I like green.
It's cool.
My favorite color. And isn't like a sign of virtue or something in Star Wars? I know they all mean something.
That sounds good to me. If you had just told me that, I would have been like, yeah, I agree.
I can look it up real quick while you tell me.
My next question would be, what type? Is it just like a standard lightsaber? Like just
but it'll have a fancy handle. It's not gonna be a double thing or.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Like wrapped in leather or something.
Yeah, definitely some leather. Maybe some some crystals or something on it.
Yeah, nice. Bling it out.
Yeah.
With like super glue and little like dollar store crystals and stuff. That'll look cool.
I was thinking just borrow my kid's Bedazzler.
Yeah, dude.
Just go to town.
I think this is gonna be great. You could have just went with like the color yellow for your lightsaber or something. Maybe bright pink.
No.
Speaking of bright pink, my lightsaber would be purple. And you want to know why? Because there's been one Jedi that I'm aware of that's had a purple lightsaber, and that was Mace Windu.
Mace.
And I loved the way that lightsaber looked, and I was always so mad that I haven't seen another purple lightsaber pop up. Maybe it has in like some of the comics or something that I just haven't seen, but I always loved Mace Windu's lightsaber. It's just purple looks so good as a lightsaber. And it would also be double-sided, obviously, but I want it to be double-sided with the ability to like break it in half into 2 different lightsabers, because I think like the dual lightsaber fights are so good.
Yeah. So yep. The green is basically just like the second most common lightsaber, and it just shows that you rely on the Force quite a bit. So
well, then you're just gonna be chucking stormtroopers off cliffs and stuff. So that's cool.
Yeah, but there's also a black lightsaber. That's like in the lore or whatever.
That sounds like it would be a Sith weapon, like red.
Sounds pretty cool though. So
another color we haven't seen, but I think might be cool, is orange. That might just kind of look like fire, I guess. But
I have an orange one.
Well, there we go. Look at that.
In the Force, what is that game? The Dark Souls one.
Fallen Order. So many Star Wars things. I can't keep track of them all.
My brain is putting it.
I thought that lightsaber was yellow. Maybe you're colorblind. Maybe I'm colorblind.
It could be. It's a yellowish orange, you know.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I think it's a good color.
So
Anyways, good question. Go Star Wars.
yeah, I gotta go see it still. So
Do it.
I've heard it's terrible.
I've heard it's
great.
terrible from so many people.
I know.
I enjoyed it. So I enjoyed it,
good.
and every person that I've, like Lewis, enjoyed it. Even Dan, who probably isn't a huge fan of it at this point.
He's a hole
He
poker.
was, 100%. He said it was better than he thought it was going to be. So that's something,
Oh, cool.
I guess.
Well, I told my wife one time, so I gotta be a man of my word and take her when we're down in Arizona.
Do it. Should be fun.
Yeah.
Hopefully. We'll see. All right. Next question comes in from Ronan. He says, with the holidays pretty much here, do you guys incorporate games into your family time? Something like busting out the Switch with all your extended family present, or do you just forego games until the holiday season has passed? You were telling me earlier about a new family tradition you might be starting this year, and that has to do with games. So let's hear it.
Yep. I got Luigi's Mansion downloading right now in the other room on the Switch, and we always let our kids open up one present on Christmas Eve. It's kind of a tradition I did when I was a little kid. I don't know if you guys did the same thing or not.
No, I like it.
Yeah, and so, but usually they used to, my mom would let us pick, and sometimes you'd open socks or something. You're just like, seriously?
Oh crap! I picked the worst gift. At least you got it out of the way, I guess.
Right. But then everybody's playing with their toys or
just
whatever, and you just
making
got
sock
socks.
puppets in the corner by yourself,
Yeah.
like a real weirdo.
No. But so I'm starting a tradition with my kids is we're gonna give them the board games, and I'm gonna buy a new Switch game every year for us to play as a family together. So this year is gonna be Luigi's Mansion 3 because I hear it's getting a lot of low key hype. It's a really good game. So
Yeah, dude. I was talking to Waterloo. I was talking to him like a month ago when it came out, and he was like, "This is like my favorite Switch game." I was like, "What?" Like, actually, he loves that game though, and I've never played any of the older ones, so definitely let me know how it is.
yeah, I will. I've heard nothing but good things about it. So I look forward to playing with it. But I'm gonna be playing with my daughters, so I will pack my patience.
Pack it up real
Yeah.
good. Don't let it slip out and start yelling on Christmas Eve.
No, I said go that way. Just go to bed.
Santa's not coming.
Sounds like I'm practiced, huh?
Little.
What about you? You got any game traditions?
Not really. We'll play like board games on Christmas Eve, just like whatever my parents have laying around. But no, I don't really have any traditions like that. I think when I have kids, that'll definitely change because games are such a big part of my life, like board games and video games. So
right.
I'll definitely be doing something like that. But it's usually just hanging out with my parents, and they don't video game very much at this point. So
Yeah. So that's the other end of the question. I kind of don't play my Xbox as much as I'd like to in December because there's other people around and I don't need to occupy my TV with a video game that nobody else cares about.
Well, that's why you got this nice PC that doesn't take up the living room TV.
Right. Yeah. But then I'm hiding in my room and being antisocial.
I know, and that's just the worst.
So, I don't know. You can't have a perfect world. I guess Game Pass is a perfect world. Or not,
xCloud.
Jesus, my brain is pudding. xCloud. But, we had an experience with that over the last week too, and multiplayer on xCloud is not ideal.
That was the one we were playing Sea of Thieves. Should have mentioned that earlier, but yeah, it was tough. You were talking to us, and all we heard was ourselves echoing really loudly. We were like, "Moose, what are you doing right now?"
Right. And then the lag was so bad that I would just basically be a human meat shield and go
I'll have to
die
try that
all
on my
the time.
internet at some point when we're doing it. I'm like, I know you have decent internet, and so do I. So I just wonder if it was a
I
weird
should, yeah.
one-off kind of issue, or because I've never had problems with latency as far as single-player stuff goes. But like you said, you got in there and could barely play the game,
Right.
So that's
Me
kind
either.
of interesting.
Yeah.
It's not great.
It was unplayable almost. I could move the sails and I could, do the remedial things on deck, but that was about it. I could carry things back to the boat.
You weren't about to get in PvP battles with other ships.
No. Well, I tried. I tried real hard, but
Yeah. Cool. So it'll be a thing. Ask me 5 to 10 years from now, and maybe I'll have a better answer for you. All right. This next one comes in from Aimster. Looking forward into 2020, are you all excited about any specific game or consoles? If you all say Cyberpunk, that'd be deemed a correct answer from myself.
thank you for answering your question, Aimster.
Dude, right? Like, if that's not your most anticipated game for 2020,
Right.
what is?
What other games are coming out in 2020?
I don't think any other games are coming out in 2020.
Yeah. It's just Cyberpunk and new consoles. That's all.
For real though, I think is weird looking as the Avengers look in this new Avengers game. I love
the
Avengers and Marvel as a whole, so I'm interested.
I'm looking forward to that for sure. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Watch Dogs.
Watch Dogs 3.
Yeah, whatever they call it.
Yeah,
but
3.
If it actually ends up coming out.
Watch Dogs
I mean?
Legion.
Legion, there you go. Because everything's been delayed because Breakpoint's been so terrible.
Yeah. I mean, good.
So,
it needs to be. They need to take a second and be like, why does everyone hate this so much? And then remove all of why everyone hated Breakpoint from whatever they were going to put into that game.
Out of all their
Good
games.
Lord.
Right. So, and I'm also looking forward to hopefully another Assassin's Creed title next year.
Yeah, dude, they've been killing it. So, maybe I'll play the second or Odyssey at some point here.
Yeah, dude, you got to. That game's you'll feel like I feel when I'm playing through The Witcher. Like, why am I playing this game when it's 2 years old and it's so awesome?
Yeah. Another. Now that I brought up a list, there's 1,000 things I could say. Of course.
Right.
Wasteland 3 taking place in your backyard.
It literally.
That's my type of game, though. I think that's.
I'll give it a shot. It's not my type of game, but I will give it a shot. Maybe one of these games will catch me, and I'll be a strategy 99% miss guy.
Or you're just gonna be playing Doom Eternal.
Yeah.
Just
that
mindless murder all day.
I will definitely be doing that.
For sure. 2020 is gonna be dope. I'm excited for the new Xbox, even if it looks like the ugliest thing I've ever seen.
Dude, they have one skin for it that makes it look like it's an old, Microsoft DOS tower with like a 3.5-inch floppy disk drive on it, and it looks so cool.
I'm gonna find some way to make this thing look cool.
You know what I'm talking about? Like that gray tan, plastic color.
Yeah, and that sounds fine. I guess.
The public school computer basically is what you're looking at.
Right. No, they're so close to just making a PC. Just make a they might as well throw Windows 10 on there and let you just browse the web.
A decent browser at
easily.
least, because I need to watch my illegal stream somewhere.
Enable mouse and keyboard,
right.
We're dangerously close to them just being PC makers.
And that's where I'm torn at this point because it is going to be quite a bit of an upgrade from the X. But I don't think my TV is going to show it.
Right,
and also I could put that money into my PC and make
that's what I'm saying. And if people don't know,
much better.
We were briefly talking about becoming a family thing on Steam. My biggest selling point for consoles up to this point was but I can game share. I can game share on Switch and PlayStation and Xbox. I get everything so cheap. Little did I know that on Steam you can game share with up to 4 other people on 10 different devices.
So you can each have 2 computers each.
Yeah, I've got my laptop and my desktop, and I have your whole library and whoever else's libraries that join the family.
I might have another guy to join our family too, my neighbor.
He's a
just
big
give me your
PC
info.
nerd, and he's got 3,000 games.
Dude, that's all he plays is PC games.
So yeah, but I think that's a great point that you bring up. If this is a $600 thing, that can go so far as you upgrading your current PC. So
and you're not going to be missing out any titles by having the S or the X.
Yeah, like we have our
Everything's
X,
gonna
we
run,
have
at least initially.
and like it's all Microsoft doing is pushing. They're like, yeah, we want you to be able to play your games wherever. So it's like all my first party
Right.
stuff I can play on PC as well. Like at this point, I'm more excited. I hate to say it, for the PS5 over the Xbox One X
Well,
Series.
I got
X.
the Pro, so I'm good there
Right,
too.
you're kinda
so
topped
I
off
really
everywhere.
need to just throw the money into my PC.
So at least we answered those questions. Now you know where the money needs
Right.
to get thrown.
But that doesn't mean that's going to happen. As soon as the hype happens and the pre-order,
And then the
I'm
FOMO
just gonna
sets
be
in,
there.
and you're like, oh, I need one, don't
Yeah,
I?
exactly.
I need one.
That's what happened with the X. I just started calling freaking GameStops all over the place and be like, did somebody come get their Scorpio? Did somebody not come get their Scorpio? And then finally the one down the street called me and they're like, we got
And
one.
you're like, damn it, I have to buy it now.
I was like, all right, well, let me call my wife and tell her I'm spending $500 real quick.
2020 should be pretty damn excellent, though, and I think there's a lot of stuff to get excited about.
Yeah.
All right,
No matter what platform you play, it's going to be a good year.
100%, dude. And owning the more the merrier.
Right.
Just buy as many as you can without having to throw your family out in a snowbank.
And I think that, for the most part, console exclusives is going to be a thing of the past. And, it's just whatever platform you prefer to play on it. And hopefully cross-play.
Oh, God, we need it
becomes
so
more of a
bad.
thing.
That's what's
Oh, yeah,
rough.
with Destiny right now, it's brutal.
Yeah, and it hasn't been this bad in a while, where it's like,
Yeah.
I've got like 5 people all play on PC, but then there's still like 2 or 3 stragglers that only have Xbox, so like we have to go
Right.
back and play on Xbox, and once you've been playing on a PC, it's tough. So, yeah, not to poop on all the consoles, which they're still great and obviously got me into the hobby, but PCs are so nice.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next question. This one comes in from Rocker. Why do you think all of the Game of the Years are released mid-December? 2 years running now, Donut County released mid-December 2018, and now Goose Game in mid-December 2019. I can't wait to see 2020's animal-themed Game of the Year. I hope it's a possum.
Well, you just got to go with the mischievous animals, and I don't know if possum are one of them. Are they? You got a raccoon and a goose so far.
Yep. What
are the next? I guess mice would be one, maybe.
Don't possums just play dead?
Dude, they're mean. Dude, they like
Isn't
hiss
that
at
the thing?
you.
And they're angry?
Yeah.
That's not fun.
I
I want a fun animal. It'll probably just be Animal Crossing. That comes out in 2020, so if you're really looking for a Game of the Year contender that's all about animals, there you go.
Notice neither one of us said we were looking forward to that game.
Nope. Maybe I'll figure it out someday.
No, I think you got to figure it out.
It's just a
Nothing.
big ball. Just offended 3 people to listen to the podcast. I'm really sorry.
Sorry about your animal sim, guys.
Oh, boy. And then the last question, which Chocolate decided not to throw in here, comes in from Sweeney. He wants to know, why doesn't Chocolate use spell check on all the tweets he puts out?
I can't answer for the bear,
Sweeney.
but I think he's just always in a hurry. That's what we'll say.
My initial...
He's like the white rabbit from Snow White, just always running behind.
My first thought was that at one point, like all these words that he misspells, he tapped them and saved them into his like spell check library. So he's just accidentally saved a bunch of wrong words. So his phone's just like,
He's done it so many times that his phone just adapted
the
to
phone's
him.
like, oh, okay, sir, I guess if you
Like
said
the word
this-
bot is now just officially
Right.
brought. Because I don't think he's ever
And
spelled
he's like,
the word
man,
bot right.
I hate this. Duck this game. And you're like, well, that probably was supposed to be a different word, but yep.
That's right, Bear. We love you. We know what you mean.
Sometimes I need to be like, let's start over. Explain to me what you're trying to say to me.
All right.
Uh,
And there was one other thing that we could discuss briefly and just maybe throw some titles out there. Sweeney was talking about possibly games of the decade, since we're going into a new decade next week. Just off the top of my head, I would say Witcher 3, God of War, Titanfall 2.
Destiny 2.
Yeah, no doubt.
Game of the generation of my entire life.
It just took you a long while to get back into her.
Get back into it. I did. I'm here now. I decided once I get to my 2,000 mark in hours played, that's when I get my hunter tattoo. So,
oh Jesus!
Somebody mark me on that one. Timestamp it.
There it is.
There it is. Forced me to get a tattoo.
Here's the video game tattoos.
Boom. Just.
At least the hunter's a cool one. Nobody will know. Only hunters will know, and it just looks like a cool tattoo.
Just subtle enough to be a good video game tattoo, and not be a giant Pac-Man on my bicep.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh God.
So what are you thinking? Maybe some games of the decade.
Dude.
Obviously, you said Destiny 2.
I mean, Destiny's my biggest one, and by
yeah, just the franchise in general.
Yeah, and it's not even like I'm into it right now, super hardcore, because I am, obviously.
Right.
I haven't put in like a third of the time that I put into Destiny 1 that I put into Destiny 2 so far. Like, I've just... That game was my life back in the day, dude. Like, I met so many people through LFGs back in the day, just like randoms doing the Vault of Glass for hours and hours with these people that were just, like, I had never met. And that whole community, like, the people that are still around, like, in forums and stuff, are some of like the nicest and most understanding people. You obviously have your toxic people who are always the loudest in every fandom, but yeah, I don't know. It's such a good community, and I also think you stole the other games of the generation by saying The Witcher and Titanfall.
Yeah,
so.
Titanfall 2. I put that one in as a joke just to piss off Cabo, but God of War's got to be up there.
And Breath of the Wild, like.
Yeah, that's one I was thinking about earlier today too.
Horizon Zero Dawn. A lot of those games came out like the same year. That's why it's impossible to look back this year and try to even compare it to some of the past years we've had.
Even the new Spider-Man game could be in contention.
Yeah, dude, that was my game of the year over God of War. God of War is probably like the better game in quotes, but I liked Spider-Man more than that, and I loved God of War. So, yeah, dude, lots of good games.
Right. So, good time to be alive, to play video games.
Good time to be gaming. All we need is more time.
Yeah, just going to get better. Just got to get better cages for my kids. Wait, we'll take that out.
Yep. Edit. Scribble. Send them off to college. That's what you were going to say. Need to send them off to college. All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for sending in the questions. You guys are wonderful. If you want to send in questions, get them to us however you can. But we do have a monthly Mailbag questions channel right inside of Discord, and links to the Discord are in the show notes. We did it, Moose. Did a 2-man show. We did it in not quite 45 minutes, but hey, when there's stuff to talk about, which there really wasn't, we somehow I'm talking too much. That's what it is.
Nah. We just get excited about stuff. It's passion. People enjoy hearing our passion come through the airwaves.
We love the video games.
That's right.
And we will have you know that we love them. All right. Head on over to iTunes, rate us, do all that fun stuff. Give us 5 stars. Tell us about why we're your favorite podcast, or even like second or third favorite podcast. I'll take that for sure. So yeah, do that. Discord, like I mentioned before, links for that are in the show notes. We're all there every day chatting about whatever. We currently have a Rise of the Skywalkers channel that is opt-in only, so you're not going to see spoilers. But if you do want to get in, talk about that, tell me how I'm wrong for enjoying the movie, hop into Discord and do it there.
And our TV and movies channel is pretty much all blacked out because everybody's talking about Witcher.
Yeah, I probably should make a Witcher channel. I should just have a spoilers channel, and just don't click on it if you're not up to date with current pop culture. Yeah, great. Go to Discord, place to be for sure. If you'd like to support the show, you can head on over to patreon.com/CAG podcast. We're kind of a little laxed on our free articles right now. It's the holidays. Everyone's busy. Moose has had mother and father-in-laws in his house for like 7 weeks at this point. It's kind of draining, but in the best way, right?
Something like that.
Yup, for sure. So with the new year around the corner, look forward to something. I'm assuming let's put up I'll just say it now. Let's put up a New Year's resolutions for gaming. We'll throw up an article about that in the coming weeks at some point. So keep an eye out for that.
Oh boy.
I'll do it. I'll get it done.
No, I'll figure out some resolutions.
We'll get it done.
I think I need to stop cussing around my kids. That's a good one, right?
Yeah, definitely. They're going to get in a lot of trouble when they're in school.
Nah, they're daddy words. They know that.
Okay, perfect. We know we don't say daddy words in school. I like it a lot. Like always, I'd like to shout out our top tier contributor. That's Chaotic. Thanks for the continued support, Chaotic.
Yes, sir.
And the rest of you out there. If you're looking for an alternative way to support the show, we do have a merch store. It's through Spreadshirt. A link for it are in the show notes. It's a little late for Christmas, but if you have a belated Christmas gift that you need to give to somebody or something, get them a hoodie, get them a hat, get them a backpack, get them something cool.
Or if you didn't get what you wanted, buy yourself what you wanted.
Yeah, was that Cross Atlantic Gaming hoodie not under your tree? Well, now's the perfect time to go in there and buy it yourself.
Exactly.
Merry Christmas.
Here's to your family not knowing you at all.
Exactly. If you want to follow us on Twitter and Instagram, we are at CAG Podcast. And lastly, if you need to reach out via email for anything, cagpodcast@gmail.com. If you want to reach me, I am at Risky the Kid everywhere. Moose, how about you?
Moosenstein 8314 everywhere.
All right, and Chocolate Bear, this is where you send all the hate mail, chocolatebear80@gmail.com. Sorry, Chocolate. Anyways, thank you, everyone, for tuning into this week's episode of Cross Atlantic Gaming. We'll catch you guys next week for an all-new episode. Goodbye.
Merry Christmas, y'all. Some Santa jokes for you. All right. So, how much did Santa pay for a sleigh?
No idea.
Nothing. It was on the house. Yep, that was a good one, huh?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I like it.
All right. So, why is Santa so good at karate?
I don't know.
He's got a black belt. Not as good. I know.
Not as good.
Do you have any?
What kind of Christmas carols do you sing to fruit?
What?
Have yourself a berry little Christmas. It's not really a type of Christmas carol. That's just a specific. That was poorly written. Fatherly.com. Fatherly.com. Your source for all great dad jokes. Maybe.
Wow.
What is the best Christmas song to sing to your pet rock?
What?
God, these are bad. Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Hey, that's not a bad one.
It could have been worse, I guess.
Right. All right. Let's find the last one of the Christmas season.
Okay, well, I got to go before you then. What do you call a snow monster that has a six-pack?
What?
The abdominal snowman.
Okay. Here we go. The last one for the Christmas season. How do you know when Santa's around?
It smells like cinnamon and candy canes.
No, it smells like Santa farts. But that's not the answer. You can always sense his presence.
Presents. That's what you did there. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yep. Merry Christmas.